A topic that has garnered attention in recent years, mental health. A recent mass shooting in Lewiston, Maine caused that topic of mental wellness to come to the forefront yet again. But is there enough being done in this country for mental health? Do you know where to go if you find yourself in a mental health crisis? To help us with this conversation, we've invited Matthew Horton, a licensed counselor here in the state of South Carolina, to break the topic down for us. Matt, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Mental health, it is something that we all know about, but not all of us know a lot about that. Is that a problem?
Yeah, I think anytime that there is a conversation that's being had, it's wonderful when there are a lot of people talking, but are we really saying anything? So the goal, I think now, at least from my perspective, is to increase knowledge, increase access to means, increase the ability that one is able to participate in mental health in their community.
Now, answer this question for me. Why do you think there is, or there has been, a stigma around mental health and getting help for it? Does that stigma still exist in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I think in order to move forward, you have to look backwards. The mental health field is one that for a very long time went out of its way to label, to judge, to openly discriminate against many groups of people. We're not even talking that long ago. As recent as the 2013 updates in the DSM-5 to the 1970s. These are people that are still alive that were negatively impacted by this. So the conversations being had around mental health are maybe just now gaining tractions of creating better understanding for people.
So how do we normalize the conversation, and how do we normalize it?
Yeah, education. I think the more licensed professionals that can come to the forefront and advocate for mental health in everyday living is going to be important. It's scary, it's overwhelming, it is a difficult system to navigate, and I say that as a licensed professional with more than a decade in the field. So imagine being somebody at home watching this right now who is sitting on the couch considering acting on their own mental health needs. Where do I go? How do I get that information? What do I do? What will happen to me? I think the more action that we can put behind our words and our knowledge, it's going to benefit people.
And that's very real. So help us out if somebody's having that conversation, and I guess maybe the first thing they would turn to might be Google. What do I do when I feel like this? But what should their first line of defense be, or first action be, in dealing with their mental health crisis?
I think the first thing that I always tell my clients is to, one, take a deep breath. Addressing mental health symptoms can be incredibly overwhelming, and just your willingness to admit that there is something that you wish to work on, to improve upon, takes a lot of strength. Two, start having a conversation. You can research the likes of different licensed professionals. Myself, that would be what's called a licensed professional counselor. You can look for social workers, LCSW. You can do that by talking to your doctor, going to a local hospital. You can use Google, but you can also contact your insurance provider and see what networks are available in your community.
And some people may not feel comfortable talking to a stranger about what's going on. Is there a way you would suggest to start a conversation with somebody that you know and you trust? How do you do that?
I think taking that first step and just finding the willingness in yourself to initiate that conversation, one. And I understand how that can be easier said than done. But we have to understand that these are licensed professionals. We are here to help. We have no judgment, at least ideally we don't, to be able to open up those conversations.
All right. Matt, thank you very much for being here with us. This is certainly a conversation that we're not going to solve it here, nor are we going to get to the bottom of it here. We'd like to continue to have it and invite you and others on to talk about it. If you have any other questions that you'd like for Matt to perhaps take a go at, you can email them to me at raphael.james@live5news.com.